What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Jarrell. So in today's video, I'll be bringing out part 1 to my pistol trips mini scheme. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. Now, before I do get into the video, I do have to, if you find any value whatsoever throughout any part of the video, if you could do me a favor and watch at least 30 seconds of any ad that you may see throughout the video, that'll help my channel out tremendously. Because if you didn't know, when you hit skip ad, I actually do not get paid for that, and I plan on becoming a full-time YouTuber, so I would greatly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So you see, we do have pistol trips, and one thing I want to mention before I get any further is that last year I actually did a video on pistol trips, so that's why I kind of wanted to just kind of update y'all on how I like to run it. So a couple of videos I did last year, I plan on, you know, still bringing it back into this year. It just takes a little time because of all the things I want to do, so that's why I actually did do this video. I did have one subscriber ask me to do a video, but it was already gonna come out anyways, just because I did it last year. But anyways, let's go and get into this. So as far as personnel wise, I like having my best receiver. If I get to it, I like to have my best receiver right here, and you'll see why in the gameplay, or you'll see why in a second here why I like that. And I like having my second best receiver where 83 is right here, and now of course right here 80. That's just your wild card. You can put whoever you want there. I prefer speed, so that's why I got Miles Boykin right there over Des Bryant, but it's completely up to you. It doesn't really matter in that third position. So the plays that I'm going over in part 1. So I actually want to show y'all the different run plays out of here, because stretch is honestly pretty good. Halfback draw is okay. Halfback counter is my favorite run in this playbook. Strong, power, and read option, those are okay too. But the play I really want to go over the most is honestly the halfback counter. But I'm be showing you guys all the runs, and I'm gonna show you gameplay. And the gameplay is gonna be with halfback counter, just to let y'all know. Not saying none of the other runs are good or anything, but this is just by far my favorite run in this formation, and it's going to couple well with part 2, and you'll be able to understand why in part 2. So I am actually going to just come out and have that counter, and I'm actually just going to show you this random nickel. So you see we got 245, 335 odd, 245 double A gap, and 335 wide. So that's why I'm going to do random nickel, because it's pretty much the random of the metas formation. So right here is like 335, of course. So the reason I like this play right here is because, I don't know, the blocking on it is just really nice. So normally I just like the ID, the middle backer. And also one thing I want to mention, when you run this pistol trips, you want to make sure that your 3 receivers are to the wide side of the field. Again, make sure your 3 receivers are to the wide side of the field. So this is what the counter looks like. So I like it because it honestly has great blocks. You can tell right there, we've literally got about 10 yards. And honestly, in game, you're going to see that I pretty much average at least 5-6 yards every single time I run this play, especially if they give me like something like a double A gap. I'm gonna go ahead and run it right here. So I mean, just the blocking on is just really nice. You can tell right there. I mean, that's potentially a touchdown right there. So like, halfback counter is by far my favorite one. So but I will show you halfback stretch, kind of see what you look like. You tell, just snap the ball, and I mean, it's just a stretch play. So the reason I don't like it, I don't know, I just feel like the blocking isn't as great. So I'm actually going to just go back to stretch. I might just flip it right here so you can see. I might just ID, you know, maybe this guy right here is Zadarius Smith, and then as long as we get a block, normally, you know, you can see stretch is pretty good too. I mean, we're still getting really good yards. So like, this pistol trips can be really dangerous if your opponent doesn't know how to stop the run. So I do want to show you read option. That's the reason I kind of got the Ravens, just because of the read option play. But honestly, the read option is not that great. The only time it's great is if they actually let Lamar keep it, but most of the time when you have a scrambling quarterback, they're probably going to put it on option conservative for the quarterback. So you don't really need, you know, a mobile quarterback for this scheme to work, but in part 2 it will help a whole lot, and you'll be able to see that. So last thing I want to talk about is halfback dive. Then I'll be showing you gameplay with a halfback counter, so I might just ID that person right there. But I don't really like the dive personally, as you can tell, but I'm gonna run it one more time just so you can kind of see what it looks like, maybe versus a 2-4-5 type of defense. But to be honest, it's not my favorite. You can tell they always get really good sheds out of the defense. So next, what I want to get into is going to be this inside cross right here. So this honestly is pretty much one of my favorite concepts in this pistol trips, but I also have a lot of things that I do like that you're going to see in part 2. And the reason why I'm pushing a lot of the passing concepts in part 2, because I don't want to make this video like 15-20 minutes long. I'm hoping to make it right around 12-13 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and get into why I like this. So if you notice any type of zone coverages, so again, any type of zone, this is the setup I want you to use. You just want to take circle, put them on a hitch just like this. I want you to take X, put them on a curl route. Now from here, I want you to take triangle and put them on an out route. Now the spacing on this concept is great. So in part part 2, you're going to see how I like to implement this spacing, and it's going to make your user honestly not know what to do, and that's why I really love this. So you see right, we are going against cover 3. We are going to go ahead and press right here, just because most people do press in their cover 3. So what you're going to notice right here is you're going to have circles. You can tell you're going to have R1, and I threw that way too early, but you're going to have square. I'm actually going to run that again. I'm actually going to throw the square read when you're supposed to, and then you're going to be able to, I'm going to go and replay and show you exactly why I like this concept. So let's go ahead and press right here again, and what you're looking for is just the user. You just want to see what the user is doing. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go guard circle, and then you're going to be able to have that dot right across the middle, and you can tell I could have threw that way earlier, but I just kind of waited a little later, just so I can show you how everything did develop. So I'm gonna go into replay and just kind of show you what I'm talking about. So the reason that this play is good, so let's say he's using this hook curl, right? So immediately what he's gonna see a hitch. That's all he's gonna see. So more than likely what the user's gonna do, and you'll even see in the gameplay, they're gonna kind of make this little path where they kind of come this way, and then they might come back and try to just sit on this side. Why are they gonna sit on that side? Because they're gonna see a hitch, and they're gonna see a running back right here. So they're gonna try to midpoint that, and when they do that, that's exactly what we want, because they're gonna run this way, and we're gonna throw this right here. So you can tell I could have threw this right about now. I'm not sure why the linebacker actually played the way they did last time, but normally I'm okay with throwing it right on the break. As you can tell, I mean, that's just easy at that point. So I am going to run it again one more time, just an off coverage for cover 3. So those of y'all that might think pressing might have affected it or something, so just take circle, put them on a hitch, take triangle, put them on an out route, take X, put them on a curl route just like this. And honestly, you just want to wait for square to get open. You can tell right there he's going to get open. So I just need to spot somebody just so I can have a little bit of time, because y'all see I'm just getting absolutely hollered at by Gray, who's like, I think he's like 80 overall, so that's even crazy by itself. So anyways, this is what we're looking like. I just want to show you that square, yes, does get open. You just need to wait right about there, and then you'll be able to throw that right there. So if they're playing off cover 3, you can still throw that. Just needed to make sure I reiterated that so you can understand. You can still throw that when they're in off cover 3. But let's go and move on. So let's talk about cover 4 drop. So if they're playing cover 4 drop, don't look for square to be open. I'm gonna go ahead and press. Now, why do I say that? I'll just show you, then we'll go into replay, talk about what actually I like to throw versus cover 4 drop. So what I like to throw, I'm just gonna try to throw it right there. So you see right there, we barely caught that. Now in game, you're probably throwing a pick, so do not throw that against cover 4 drop. The only reason I threw it is just to show you why you don't want to throw that against cover 4 drop. So let's go and talk about what we like to throw. So if they're using this hook curl, just like I told you, then you actually want to hit this hitch right here. So if that's not open, then what? We'll have a running back hitch. Now if they're using on this, one thing I forgot to mention, if they're using on this side, you're just really gonna feast. Why? Because they have to guard this, you can tell. So if they try to run with the user and cover that, you know, then we'll just throw it at a tight end. But we can always have this route. So I don't want you to notice, we can always have this running back route as kind of a safety net. Now, what most people do in cover 4 drop, they do not use her on the hook curls most of the time. Most people will use her as safety because they're afraid of getting, you know, cover 4, you know, a beater or whatever ran on them. So they normally use her as safety. So if they're using this safety right here, then I want you to notice something. So let's say they're using him, right? More than likely, what they're going to do, they're going to cover this square route. Why? Because it's coming right at the area. They have no choice but to cover that. So we'll have this legit all day. Now, if they're using this safety right here, then they're really going to be screwed, because there's nobody who's ever going to take their safety right here and run straight down and cover this. Now, even if they do, you can always still have this running back route. So that's why I said, like, this play, honestly, is probably really a really slept on concept in Madden. So let's go ahead and talk about cover 2. So with cover 2, what you're going to notice is, I'm actually not going to put a middle read right here, well, a middle third, and I'm going to show you what happens when we do. So you just want to take circle, put them on a hitch, take triangle, put them on an out route, take X, put them on a curl route, just like that. And then we're going to go and snap the ball. So I'm going to throw it right where you can see. Oh, I actually threw that way too early. Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's the kind of like the read pattern that you're going to make. Normally, when I was labbing this and in gameplay, you'll be able to see, you can actually throw it right on the break. I'm going to see if I can get it right here. If not, then I'm going to go into replay and just kind of talk to you about, you know, why I like this versus cover 2 still. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So in gameplay, more than likely, I can always have that right there. I know you're probably looking like, bro, that's like a super scary read, but I'm going to go into replay, kind of show you. And then I could have waited a little second also, because you can kind of get it in the sweet spot, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about that in a second here. So what you also notice in cover 2, you're going to have him wide open, and you're also going to have your running back wide open. So, and there's no way a user's going to be able to guard both of them. Now, I want you to picture something. So, you see how this is the mid read? Now, if they don't put a middle third, then I'm going to talk about that in cover 2, but you'll be able to split the safeties in cover 2, but we'll talk about that, like I said, in part 2. So most of the time they're going to put a middle third, but if they don't, and the user, like, let's say the user him, right? So you have this all day. You know, I'm just forcing passes just to kind of, you know, show you stuff, but you legit have this all day. They have no choice, because if they run down with the user and guard him, then we can throw this legit right on the break. That's why I said in gameplay, you'll see me be able to throw this right on the break right here, because their user will be down here or they'll be by the running back. Now, if they're using on this vertical hook over here, then what? We'll just have this open still all day. And we'll just, you know, we can even potentially have this if they just take him and shoot here. Or if they did that, then what? We just have that tight end sitting right there. Now, I'm actually going to I'm going to show you 2 more things, and then I'm going to show you some man, and I'll get some gameplay. So the thing I want to show you first is what happens if you throw this ball kind of late. So I'm actually going to spy Gray here and spy Clark, just so I can have a little bit of time, because practice mode is kind of hard to get a little bit of time. But I'm going to show you that you kind of can still throw this right here, right there, and then just possession catch that if you don't get a bad animation like that. And I want to hop into replay really fast. I didn't plan on hopping to replay, but I want you to pay attention to something. So this is something that you need to know for gameplay. So what you notice, right, I want you to notice something. So if they're actually pressing, which most of the time they zone drop, they won't, but if they happen to not be zone dropping, then watch what happens. So if he gets an outside release, then we're actually going to be able to throw that right here, as you can tell. So that's what I was trying to explain to you earlier. But in game, more than likely, they always make them go outside. That's something I want to show you real quick. So I want you to pay attention. Hopefully they do that again. Actually, hopefully they do the opposite, because it's kind of random. So that's why you want to kind of watch it. So if you feel like they're playing cover 2, then just pay attention. You see how that time he goes inside? Perfect. That's actually what I wanted to show you. So you see how we throw a pick? I'm actually really, really glad that happened. So I was able to, so because it's something that you need to read. So I'm sorry, this is kind of a longer breakdown. I hope y'all find value out of this, but I just needed to make sure you understand this, because I don't want you out here throwing picks. So you remember how last time he took an outside release? Well, now look what happens when you take an inside. When he takes the inside release, it actually makes this vertical hook, or this, the vertical hook play like it's supposed to. So what you need to read, does he have an inside release or outside release? So if he releases outside, you have this on the break every single time. If he releases inside, then you won't, and then you just need to make sure that you take this right here. So don't mind the tight end. That didn't have nothing to do with the route, so don't mind that. But that's what you need to actually be reading against cover 2. And last thing I want to talk about with cover 2, like I said, make sure you take the time sense if you actually, you know, maybe not interested in the breakdowns or whatever, do check that. But the last thing I want to talk to you about is the middle third. So with the middle third, you can actually still have square, because they actually won't play it. He's going to just get too far back, and you'll be able to throw it right in front of him just like that. Now, if you do not feel comfortable with that, please just take your hits. Don't just because I haven't taken my hits don't mean it's not open. I'm just kind of showing you what can get open besides that. The last coverage I want to talk about is man did we get this gameplay, and that'll be the video. So all y'all that are kind of sticking along with me, I really, really appreciate that, by the way. So with man coverage, what I like to do, I like to take triangle, put them on a slant, and I like to block my running back. Now either A, I will run it just like this to where I don't show any motions or nothing, so my opponent doesn't know what I'm trying to do, or B, I will actually take triangle and motion them over. So I'm going to show you what both of them look like. So if you run it this way, I recommend hitting the tight end first, or you can still have squares, you can tell. So if the user kind of follows the slant, because you want the user to follow the slant, I should say. Let me go back and replay really quick and just kind of show you. So what you want the user to do, you want the user to follow this slant right here. And this is your best receiver, by the way. So more than likely, they're already going to be paying attention to him. So depending on the matchup, you see, I can still actually throw this out here if I want to. And then he'll just, you know, make a play at that point. That's why I like to have my best receiver right there. Or you can, a lot of times, if you have a good tight end that can run away from, so you get this drag. So if the user chases the slant, then what? We'll throw this post right behind him, and then maybe possession it, or, you know, rack it, whatever you want. That's up to you. So the second way I like to do it is, let's actually go, not this controller, let's go back to man coverage. Let's call press, and I'm not shading on anything, because I want you to be able to see the press animation. So let's go and do the same exact setup. All I do is put him on a slant, block my running back, and now I'm actually going to motion him across just like this. And now what you want the user to do, you just want to, you want to make a read. So is he going to follow triangle, or is he going to play square? And a lot of times you can still possession it just like that. So that's actually gonna wrap it up for this part one, little small mini scheme. One thing that you did notice in gameplay is that with the man beater, it can actually beat zone as well. So if they're playing like a cover 2, that's another way you can expose that. I'm gonna try to simulate that really fast, just kind of show you, because I know we spent a lot of time on cover 2. So I'm just gonna show you, a lot of times you can still have square open depending on what they're kind of doing. I'm even gonna block my running back just to simulate. Maybe we thought it was man, ended up being zone. Now what you're gonna notice is a lot of times you can still have square depending on if they're using a mid read, they're putting a middle third. But I just kind of want to show you that because in game mode I found that to be open a whole lot, just that post right there. But I'm not sure if it was because of what they're doing. But anyways, I hope you have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell and I'm out.